A report released by the U.S. military on the subject of UFOs, or, as they like to call them, UAPs, which stands for unidentified aerial phenomenon, recently, at least as of the recording of this video, shined a light back on the subject of aliens. The question of whether there is alien life out there is one of the most talked about unanswered questions of science. Well, what does Scripture and the Church have to say about it? Does anything in the Bible preclude aliens? Let me explain. First off, I'm not really going to touch on this whole UFO phenomenon. Maybe I'll do that in another video. I'm just going to stick to whether aliens could exist, not if they're visiting us. Also, it might help if you watch video 30 on one of the most common mistakes Christians make. You should go and watch it. Link in the description. If you watch that video, you'll remember I argue that even if information isn't in the Bible, it could still be important for us to know it. One of the other arguments that often goes along with that one is if it isn't in the Bible and its existence isn't obvious outside the Bible, then it doesn't exist. Usually, the reasoning is if God didn't need to make something, he didn't. Using that argument, aliens would obviously be precluded. They're not in the Bible, and they don't seem to be around, so they aren't. I touch on why that's wrong in quite a few of my videos, so just go and look at my playlist on theology for that. Anyway, a simple explanation for why that is wrong is this. God didn't need to create us, the angels, or anything for that matter, and yet he did. So, if we accept that those things not in the Bible can exist, is there anything in the Bible that precludes aliens? Well, there certainly isn't anything that outright says they don't exist. In fact, if you watch my video on the first book of Genesis, you'll remember I suggest life could have started very early in the universe, before even the earth, because it could be interpreted that God created vegetative life before the earth. Basically, the idea is that single-cell life came shortly after the Big Bang, when the entire universe was room temperature, even without any nearby stars. You'll have to watch that video for more on that, but it was proposed by a physicist named Avi Loeb. In light of that, it would seem that some kind of alien life does exist beyond Earth. In fact, I would argue that the creation narrative supports the idea of alien life beyond Earth, at least single-cellular, simple life. There is some anecdotal physical evidence for this. The planet Mars is red because of rust. It rusted because of some kind of oxygenation event. Earth had an oxygenation event too. This is why some areas have lots of red rocks and strata, but we know the oxygenation event on Earth was caused by life. The same thing could have caused the oxygenation event on Mars. But Mars was too small, so its core froze and it lost its magnetic field. The solar wind from the sun was then able to strip all the water and oxygen off of the planet, killing almost all the life there, if it even existed. Anyway, you would think this would also mean there could be aliens all over the place. I mean, not all the planets are like Mars, right? But not so fast. There is also a theory that Venus once had oceans as well. We can't say much about it having life, but we can conclude if Mars and Earth had life, Venus probably did too. That is, if it had oceans. However, without a big moon like we have, its crust froze. I'm not going into the details, but that led to a hothouse like Venus has today. Simulations have shown that planets like Venus and Mars are the most likely outcome. Gee, I wonder why. The vast majority of planets, even if they are in good locations like Venus, Earth, and Mars, will not be able to sustain life for as long Earth has been able to. The Earth's moon is a rare thing as far as we can tell, and is probably the reason Earth is habitable today. So yeah, I've pointed out from a scriptural and scientific perspective that simple life may be common. Also, from a scientific perspective, that complex life like ours would be rare, but possible. I mean, obviously, we're here. Well, what does Scripture have to say? In Genesis 1, when Adam and Eve's sin got them kicked out of the garden, it says death entered into the world at that point because of the sin. It's been argued that the Bible is only talking about human death here, and not all kinds of death, like the death of animals and plants, for instance. Although I don't think God intended animals to suffer so much in their lives. As I pointed out in my 20-second video, listen, just go and watch the playlist on theology. If you haven't, it's long, I know, but there's a lot there I can't cover here. Link in the description. Anyway, it seems possible for complex life to exist. But what about intelligent life like ours? You know, little green men? Yeah, so this is where things start to get a little bit dicey. You see, we get into a bit of a catch-22 situation. Regardless of animal suffering, in the Genesis narrative, when Adam and Eve are kicked out of the garden, our sin causes the world to fall with us. As we get better at looking out into the universe, we can see that the universe seems to follow the same entropic rules as we have here, which would seem to say that our sin affected the whole of the universe as well, not just this one planet. Assuming intelligent aliens have the same kind of immortal soul we do, it seems kinda unfair for aliens to live in a universe made crappy by someone else's original sin. Due to that, I think that unfallen aliens, besides interdimensional aliens like, angels, who can't be negatively affected by our sin, won't be found in this universe. Okay, so maybe we won't find any perfect aliens, thank God. Who can deal with that? What about aliens that have fallen like us? Well, Adam and Eve's sin is what gave us human evil today. That sin also means even the holiest among us may not be able to avoid the evil of others. The same thing could be said for aliens. Maybe God made, or even will make, many intelligent aliens. And the aliens that fall end up in our universe, and the original sin of all those different aliens just melts together to make this universe the way it is. That would also imply that all the non-fallen aliens have their own non-fallen universe. Man, where's an interdimensional portal when you need one, right? Heck, we showed up here super early in the universe. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it's 13 billion years old. 13 billion years old is only a drop in the bucket of time, considering the stellar era where life like ours can exist will last trillions of years. So, maybe God put us first so we could tell the rest of the community about Jesus when we meet them. This is all conjecture, of course. It could be that God made the universe just for us. But the answer to the question is that yes, the Bible does leave the door open for aliens. If you like this video, please press the like button, subscribe to my channel, and ding the bell to get notified when I post new videos. Also, please support me on Patreon. link in the description. The more people who support me, the more time I can dedicate to making videos like this one. So, until next time, have a great week.